Good afternoon, good afternoon, all of you. Myself, Professor Sanjeeva Narain Singh from IIMT College of Engineering, Greater Noida. In series with my earlier lectures on construction project management. Today, I am going to deliver a lecture on practical construction of precast wall panel. So, how a precast wall panel is to be constructed. This precast wall panel has been constructed for Mumbai International Airport project, where I was working as a construction manager under my directions. So this is the wall which I have got constructed for Mumbai International Airport project while I was working there from 2009 to 2012. So my earlier lecture on the YouTube was construction project management, construction safety management, construction quality management, and construction equipment and machinery management part 1, which can be accessed on the YouTube platform. So today I am going to deliver the lecture on precast wall panel as it has been constructed on Mumbai International Airport project. So now I begin with the lecture. So the PPT slides now coming on the screen. So now I am sharing the screen of the PPT slides for the lecture. So this is the virtual image of Mumbai International Airport project. So this is not the actual photograph of the Mumbai International Airport project, but this is the virtual image of Mumbai International Airport project. So it was the precast wall panel was constructed for Terminal T2, Southwest Pier and Common User Terminal. So it was constructed on the ground floor, as the photograph on the ground floor shows. The corrugated vertical structure over which precast wall panel is written on the red. That is the precast wall panel that has been constructed for Mumbai International Airport project. So now the scope of work. What was the scope of work that I would like to explain and define. The scope of work for the precast wall panel to be constructed was as follows. So precast elements total scope for Southwest Pier 313 units were to be constructed. For common user terminal 827 precast units were to be constructed. So total of 1140 precast wall panels were constructed. So detail of the wall panel erection for Southwest Pier zone wise, it is already given, and the opening size and the numbers and all the details are given here. The panel mark A, B, C, D, A, E, D, G. So panel mark number and the total they are given here. So detail of the wall panel erection for Southwest Pier as it was constructed for Mumbai International Airport project. So next, type and size of the panels for Southwest Pier. So the size of the panel was 1480 millimeter outer and inner dimension. So these are the dimensions that are given for the precast wall panel. So next comes the design feature. The design feature for the precast wall panel was an architecturally finished panels used as external facade at level 1. So level 1 where the people are standing in the photograph. So that is the place where precast wall panel has been constructed in the corrugated, vertical corrugated form. Precast wall panels with corrugated features and approved color on the front. So located in Southwest Pier and common user terminal. So next, the panel dimensions. Here the panel height was 3 meter Panel width varied from 1.43 to 1.552 meter. Corrugation height was 80 millimeter. Slab thickness was 90 millimeter. Column above panel. So the height of the column above panel was 985 to 1485 millimeter. That varied depending upon the design features. So section was width multiplied by thickness of the column above panel. That was 150 millimeter by 150 millimeter. So each precast panel, the weight of each precast panel was 1.5 to 2.5 metric tons. So just imagine the weight. Reinforcement steel in each panel consisted of 70 kg per cubic meter approximately. So what was the construction program? So the construction program for precast wall panel was as follows. The construction program was for the southwest pier. The construction program was from 1st of July 2009 to 15th of May 2010. For common user terminal, the construction schedule was 18th February 2010 to 24th June 2011. So this includes setup of precast yard, trial casting and erection of panels. Dates are subject to timely approval of sample and mock-up erection from client. So next, the wall panel casting cycle. For southwest pier, total 17 molds were to be prepared. So precast wall panels casting and erection program. So this was the casting and erection program worked out for the precast wall panel. So based on this program, the dates and the start date and the completion date and the number of days to be taken for, and the activities, land identification and clearance, precast yard site office development and gantry erection, design mix approval for the concrete to be used, sampling process and trial casting, then sample mold fabrication and trial molds, sample wall panel trial casting, erection, mock-up and inspection, mass mold fabrication, mass panel casting, transportation and erection of panels at site. So these were the activities that was to be used for the construction of precast wall panels at Mumbai International Airport project. So these are the detail of the plans, construction plan, construction and erection plan. So in this includes in the detailed plan the transportation and erection of the panels at site. So now S3 schedule was prepared. So S3 schedule consists of the construction machinery and equipments so that was used and that was deployed for the construction of the precast walls. So 20-ton gantry was to be used. Hydra 20-ton Hydra crane was erected. Then 180 kVA the diesel generator DG set was to be used. Welding machine was used. Chipping machine was used. So drilling machine was used. Vibrator, platform trucks, grinding machine and curing pump was used for the precast wall panel to be constructed at Mumbai International Airport project. So S4 schedule consisted of the manpower deployment for this job. So precast engineer was deployed from 1st of July 2009 to 30th of April 2010. Similarly, store accounts the date, start date and completion date of the deployment of manpower. PNM electrical was there, safety engineer was there, quality engineer was deployed. Erection team consisted of 1 erection engineer and 2 erection supervisors were deployed for this work. So now S7 schedule consists of mold fabrication, yard preparation, gantry erection, precast civil works, erection works, sealant and painting works. So these were the activities that was as per the S7 schedule in which that was undertaken for the construction of precast wall panel. So now construction methodology. The construction methodology consisted of precast panels planned for horizontal casting by use of fabricated steel mold. Horizontal mold arranged in a staggered position in 3 rows as per site plan would be placed for casting. Approved colorless shuttering oil was used. A total of 80 molds with 6 to 10 castings per day having 5-day cycle time was implemented to be completed for 1140 panels. So next, this was the layout of the precast yard layout plan on Mumbai International Airport project site. So this defines the precast wall molds after construction and how the layout is done. how the movement of the trucks are there, trailers and trucks are there to transport the precast wall panels from one place to another. So this was the precast yard layout plan. Now horizontal mold plan. This is the mold which was used for casting of the precast wall panel. So horizontal mold. So horizontal mold plan was used for casting of the wall panel. So horizontal mold side view. This is the side view of the horizontal mold. This was the top view. This is the top view of the horizontal mold, and this is the side view of the horizontal mold, which was used for construction of the precast wall panel. Next, the horizontal mold, the section, a section of the horizontal mold is also given here, how the precast mold was constructed, and this was the section as shown with actual dimensions of the mold. Now, horizontal molds, this another section is given. So this was the section. Section includes the precast wall panel with the precast wall panel, and this section includes details the corrugated surface and the support. So these are the section of the precast wall panel, this mold. And now this is the actual mold which was assembled, the horizontal mold. So from the drawing, you just justified something. You saw something, you imagined something, that how the drawing look like. So actually, this is the actual mold that was prepared for the construction of the precast wall panel at site. And this is the actual site photograph. This is the actual site photograph that was where I worked as a construction manager, and I managed the construction of this precast wall panel. So this mold is seen here. Now assembled, or this already assembled, ready for pouring of concrete. So a dummy mold made of wood is placed at the bar bending shed of precast yard for training workers in cage fabrication. So a trained worker is very much required for this kind of work. Reinforcement to be cut and bent as per available bar bending schedule. TMT bars of 8 mm, 10 mm, 12 mm shall be used for cage fabrication. After completely fabricating the cage on the dummy mold, it is manually shifted to the actual mold for casting. 25 mm thick cement mortar cover block shall be placed in a staggered manner. So this was the construction methodology, how the cage fabrication, how the workers were trained for casting of the precast wall panel. So this is now the precast wall panel casting is in progress, where see myself, my construction manager, and everybody are there on inspection, and the workers are working there. So this is how the mold was prepared, and how the precast wall panel was constructed for Mumbai International Airport project. So next, this is the detail of the mold, in which the corrugated surface, the bar binding. So the bar binding has been shown, how the bar binding has been done for the precast wall panel. Just see on the corrugated face also, there are bent stirrups, I think there are bent stirrups shown, and the detailed reinforcement for the precast wall panel, which is ready for concreting. So after the reinforcement and bar binding works are completed, now it is ready for concreting. Now I'll show you that self-compacting concrete of grade M35 was used for casting the panels. The concrete was poured through fabricated chutes placed on the fabricated stands for inaccessible mold. 1 cubic meter capacity crane bucket was used. So low frequency mold vibration was used, attached beneath the corrugated plates of the mold to avoid accumulation of air bubbles and prevent formation of voids within the hardened concrete. To facilitate easy flow of concrete between the reinforcements and prevent void formation on mold surface, the mold face was hammered with rubber mallet. So surface finish of F4 type corrugated side was to be achieved, and form finish and plain side was to have manual finish. So there was no plaster that was to be undertaken. So we should have to maintain the form finish as per the ekdam smooth surface, the smooth surface. So now concreting is in progress. This is how the concreting work is happening for the precast wall panel. You can see the chute where concrete is being poured, and the mold is getting vibrated, and the workers are working to just get it compacted and give a smooth finish. So now quality control. Flowability test was ensured prior to placing the concrete. Concrete cubes was to be cast and tested as per IS 456. Now, flowability test for uh, construction in progress. So this is the flowability test that was done by the quality control supervisors and workers. So flowability test in for the concrete was in progress. This is how the concrete was tested for its quality. And this is how quality control was being maintained for this precast wall panel. Next, the concrete cube casting is in progress, where the concrete was to be casted. And so this is how the concrete cube was casted for that work of precast wall panel. And next, demolding and curing. Precast panels was to be demolded every 5th day after attaining minimum compressive cube strength of 15 Newton per millimeter square, whichever was earlier. Curing could commence as soon as the element was to be deshirted. Curing was done continuously by water for 7 days or by applying curing compound of approved source. Membrane curing was to be applied on all exposed concrete surface using brush or sprayer. So this was what was maintained for the construction of precast wall panel at Mumbai International Airport project. Material recommended was Master Cure 181 BASF or any equivalent approved compound. So minor repairs and rectification. In case of any edge breaking or honeycombing, either observed in the element following methodology, minor repairs was to be followed. Minor honeycomb and damaged edge within rebar cover zone was to be chipped off and properly cleaned up to sound substrata, and then Nito bond air force rock or equivalent approved product was to be applied as bonding agent. Just after application of bonding agent, semi-wet cement mortar mix in the ratio of 1:2 was to be was used to plug within the cavity, honeycomb surface, and finish with respect to the line level and desired surface finish and shade. So this was the methodology used for minor repairs and rectification work for the precast wall panels. Next, major repairs and rectification. Major honeycomb and severe edge damage, which could be beyond rebar cover zone, was to be chipped off and properly cleaned up to a sound substrata, and the Nito bond or equivalent approved product was to be applied as bonding agent. Just after application of bonding agent, Convextra GP was to be used as semi-wet mix and plugged within the cavity or honeycomb surface and finished with respect to line, level, and desired finish and shade. Then lifting and stocking. So after the curing work was done, repair and repair work was handled, and everything was achieved. Now lifting and stacking. After attaining minimum compressive strength of 15 Newton per millimeter square, and as soon as the elements was gained strength, they would be lifted from their bed, and same could be stacked in a prefabricated frame or suitable means with backing of wooden runners between each individual element in 4 layers. So this is how the lifting of the precast wall panel is done. So with the crane and the slings, you see the rope. With the rope, it is tied up, and the supervisor and the worker are just ensuring the lifting and stacking of this precast wall panel. So this is one of the actual photograph of the work in progress. So wall panel shifting and lowering in progress. So from the precast wall mold, the panel was lifted, and now now it is being lowered and for stacking. So on the wood, on the wood beam, it is now lowered and it will be stacked in a horizontal position. Next, transportation and erection. After attaining full strength for M35 grade concrete, precast panels with specially designed cage arrangements was to be shifted to site by using gantry, hydra, and trailer or open trucks. After surveying, marking, and leveling, the panel was to be positioned and aligned using hydra crane. The precast panels was to be bolted to the lugs at the roof level. The precast panels was to be connected to grade slab using 16 millimeter diameter TMT rods and grouting of the same at the floor level. So the joints was to be filled by door cornering sealant as per approved specifications. So bolting of precast. This is now the precast wall panel has been constructed, it has been cast, it has been cured, and it has been repaired, it has been shifted, it has been transported to the site. So this is the actual site of the Mumbai International Airport project, where I handled this work as a construction manager. And this is how the work is in progress, where the precast wall panel is being erected and it is fixed to the lugs on the ceiling. So the ceiling and one of the worker is sitting on the staging a scaffolding, and is just holding and is just fixing the wall panel in place as per the you know marked layout. So this is the actual site photograph of the work that I have handled on Mumbai International Airport project. So lintel erection is complete. So now this is the front view of after the lintel erection was complete. So this is the lintel that was to be constructed between two wall panels, and it is shown how two wall panels was erected at Mumbai International Airport project on the ground floor. So this is the actual work that has been done there. So this shows two wall panels, precast wall panels in place and fully erected. So next comes the health, safety and environment. Safety orientation training for workers. PPE was made compulsory in zero tolerance zone and hard hat area. Displaying of warning posters was there. Training vehicle drivers, helpers, crane, hydra operators for safe movement and operation. Implementation of electrical safety measures was done. Safe walkway and working platform for erection. Daily toolbox meeting with all workmen at yard and erection site was done. Routine inspection of vehicles and P&M equipments was also done. Proper housekeeping measures to be implemented. Proper area lighting for night operations was also done. Safety precautions during lifting, stacking, transportation, and erection was done. This was the health and safety environment that I had managed at as a construction manager at the Mumbai International Airport project. So this was how the precast wall panels, casting and erection was done, and the health and safety requirement that was managed at the construction site. So now mock-up for wall panel erection. So this is one of the mock-up that was done for wall panel erection at the Mumbai International Airport project. So 3 wall panel in 3 shades. This was the shades that was to be approved for the final approval of the Mumbai International Airport project. So you see the precast wall panel colored in 3 shades. Different. The slight tinge and slight difference in the 3 shades you see, apart from the top, glass fixing and everything. So how it matches. So now this was to be shown to the client, mostly the GVK, GVK director general and the GVK directors, the general manager, and those people who used to come, and they would approve this precast wall panel. So based on this mock-up, finally this could be executed at the site. Final finishing of the precast wall panel could be done in this manner. So this was the actual photograph of the mock-up for wall panel erection that was to be done here. Now with this I end this today's lecture for precast wall panel, which I had got constructed on Mumbai International Airport project as a construction manager in the year 2009 and 2010. So thank you so much for this lecture.